made a very short film today about the weather. Hope you enjoy it.
Hi there. Don't really have a theme to my video today. I don't know if it's just me, but I like looking at swollen rivers. This bit here is totally flooded. The path that I walk along there is just a river at the moment. Can't even get along the field here. The field's totally flooded. I'll have to go along the side of the woods here to get along. There's hundreds of ducks sitting at the side there, all made homeless by the storm. Huge pieces of debris floating down the river there. There's like a massive tree floating down there. It's starting to get bitterly cold. The wind's picking up again. The river's already huge. I think it's going to be another wild night, and the river's ready to totally burst its banks here, I think. And the one in here is below the level of the river here. I think this could be an oxbow lake. See how the river's broken off from the main bit here. First time I've ever seen you in real life. Snow's definitely coming on now. I'm gonna have to shut down filming. Shut down, shut down, shut down. Can't go on. I'm just kind of hiding in a wee bit of forest here to keep my camera dry and let me film somewhere, but you can see the size of the river here as well is huge. Of course, the storms and the weather haven't been the only storms this week, have they? The sieges in France where like numerous people have lost their lives have been hitting the headlines, haven't they? The hurricane force winds last night have caused untold damage. Look at this one too. Oh my god. Oh my god. Absolute carnage. Can't believe it. Stunned. Sat all day yesterday kind of glued to my TV set, watching my TV set? That's a bit old fashioned, isn't it? A TV set. Anyway, I sat all day yesterday glued to the Sky News coverage of the events unfolding in Paris with the terrorists and hostages and killings and police bombardments or whatever you want to call them. And you know, as shocking as everything was on the TV yesterday, there were really two things that stood out in my mind, and I'm still thinking about them today, trying to get my head around them. And the first one is there was an advert on during one bit of the coverage, and it was you remember Carol Smiley of Changing Rooms, and I can't believe how young she looks. She just looks exactly the same as she did about 15 years ago. Can't get my head around that. And then the second one is later on in the evening I was watching some cookery programme, and that Tom Kerridge, the chef, was on it, and you should see the amount of weight he's lost. I can't get my head around that either. So amid all the discussion and debate and argument about free speech and religion and police brutality and whatever else was brought up yesterday, the two things really that stood out for me were Carol Smiley and Tom Kerridge and how good they both look, you know. And I suppose that's a indication of today's society. Well, for me anyway, like, you know. Obviously I'm a lot more sort of masculine than that, you know. I didn't really worry about how women look and stuff like that, you know. I didn't walk into my local rugby club and go, wow, do you see how young Carol Smiley looks these days? I was just a joke. I wasn't really interested, to be honest. I'd love to see that cropping up on Sky News or BBC News Hard Talk or something like that. Some argument between a Muslim cleric and an American diplomat or something regarding the events in Paris yesterday, and then just one of them brings up, did you see how young Carol Smiley looked yesterday? And then both of them go out having an argument about, you know, she's probably been doing plastic surgery and that, and the other guy will be going, nah, it's all natural, and the whole thing just descends into a massive argument about Carol Smiley, and that would be quite good, actually. The whole debate about religion and free speech and all that sort of stuff, it's, you know, there's no right or wrong answer for people living a quiet life in Scotland, you know. You can stand here all day arguing the pros and cons of this, that and the other. Obviously killing people's no right, you know. It doesn't take a genius to tell you that, but, you know, with regards to all the other stuff, you'll be here all day, you'll be here all year debating it. Me, myself, like hundreds and hundreds and thousands of other people, I've got hundreds of opinions and thoughts and ideas about religion and monarchies and idolisation of people and idolisation of religions and all that sort of stuff, but it just gets boring, you know. Everybody's got their own opinion and everybody on Twitter and Facebook thinks they're right, and, you know, so what, you know. It doesn't affect anybody's life, to be honest, unless you're one of these poor souls caught up in a bloody hostage crisis. Doesn't it never affect you? What does affect you? The weather, the price of food, you know. Let's see 100 ducks taken off at once. Come with me.